So the meeting, we do have a quorum here. It's 6:48. We'll start the meeting. This is a meeting of Topsfield Board of Health for October 15th, 2025. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023 and H.62 as amended by S. 2506, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so in the following manner. See the connection information on the agenda to join by video conference or calling by phone. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Topsfield Town website at https://www.topsfield-ma.gov. You may also reach out to the Topsfield Board of Health at health@topsfield-ma.gov or 978-887-1520 for information assistance. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, and public participation in any public hearing conducted during this meeting shall be by remote means only. Cable TV is recording this meeting. Is there anybody else who wishes to record the meeting? Hearing no one, let's begin with a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Before we start with the first appointment, I want to make sure everyone's here. So I see Chuck Johnson, I see Tim Collins, and I see Brig Leland, and okay, and Carl, and John, Jerry McDonald, who might be Sue, and, and Julia. I don't see, Bill yet, but we do have a quorum, and I'm hoping that Sue might be working on getting Bill admitted. So, um, John, I know John is talking to Sue. I can see him on the phone. Do you have news, John?
Yeah, we're good. So we'll run with it.
All right. I don't see Bill here.
I'm just telling him to try again.
She knows about Bill. I don't know if he got off
He
maybe.
might have gotten off, yeah. I
Oh,
just told him to try again.
oh, thank you, Amy. Okay, so we shall begin. The first appointment is to 10 School Avenue, Topsfield Garages LLC update, and we have Chuck Johnson, PE, here to give us an update. He sent us 3 documents earlier today with design. He sent us 3 enclosures, a concept plan for on-site wastewater treatment and disposal dated 10/14, a conceptual design study ground floor plan dated 9/26/25, and conceptual design study second floor plan dated 9/26/25. And he wrote, Tim Collins and Brig Leland and I are looking forward to meeting with you and Topsfield Board of Health today to give you an update. As you know, we performed official deep soil observation tests and percolation tests on September 10th, and we were successful. At this time, the proposed restaurant will have a total of 70 seats, and the event space will have a total of 110 seats. The restaurant will be open for breakfast and lunch and dinner all 7 days a week, and we are anticipating 3 events per week. In terms of the septic team, since the restaurant wastewater is considered high strength, we will have a grease trap and primary and secondary treatment, and then pump the significantly cleaner effluent to a drip disposal area. So that's what was the summary. I probably just said a lot of what Chuck was going to say, but so Chuck, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you. I was hoping earlier that you could share your screen. Don't know how that's going to go, but if you go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, well, good evening to everyone. I'm here tonight with Tim Collins and Brig Leland, and we're part of the team, along with Rick Bernard from Ben Nutter's office, who's the architect, as well as several folks from Hancock Associates doing the survey work and also the stormwater engineering work. And my role is probably the most exciting role of all of the roles, and that's to do the septic part of things. And so I did provide uh, those different documents that you mentioned, and I'm not sure if anyone had a chance to look at them. And I'm wondering if Sue or someone is able to show the concept plan that I prepared. Um,
So theoretically,
Yes, Sue has to either let you share or
well,
she can share.
right.
yeah,
Um,
I have not done share screen before, so I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Okay, so maybe she can share. It's not, I don't think you're able to share yet, but
Give me
Here
one
it is. No, you
second.
know what? Down on the bottom on my computer, there's right in the middle is a green button with an arrow and it says share.
yeah,
'Cause-
but you have to click on that and then see if you can share. Oh, it looks like you can share now.
So Chuck, if do you see do you have those documents up on your computer, Chuck?
I don't, but
If you
I
can
don't,
open them on your computer, then you can share.
Yeah.
I may be able to do it for you. Let me just.
Oh yeah, any of us can do it because she
Yeah.
shared them with us. John, that would be great.
I did look this up earlier and I was surprised to find out that unless you can be sort of sharing can be taken away, but in general, anyone can share
Which
by
one do
hitting.
you want, Chuck?
So,
the concept plan, John,
Okay, one second.
showing the topography and
mhm. Ah,
Nice.
beautiful.
success.
Okay, John, if you're able to scroll up at all, the plan. Okay, so the down at the bottom of the screen is where School Avenue comes in off of Main Street. And I think you all are familiar with where School Ave is in
Mhm.
relation to Main Street. And you see there on the left-hand side is where the former DPW garages building is. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So uh, you see where the former DPW garages building is, that sort of L-shaped building. And to the left, I have a note of primary and secondary treatment and pump chamber.
Mhm.
Does everyone see that?
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. So the Title V, the state sanitary code, has a lot of prescriptive requirements. Uh, However, it doesn't require for a restaurant to have secondary treatment. So let me just quickly describe uh, what primary treatment is and what secondary treatment is. Primary treatment is basically for a single family home. There's a building sewer pipe that goes out to a septic tank. That septic tank serves as primary treatment, which is basically the 4 foot depth of liquid and solids in a septic tank. The sludge forms at the bottom, and the scum, which is the fats, oils, and greases, which are less dense than water, rises to the top. And in the middle is what is called the clear zone. But it's anything but clear, like water is clear. But that's what primary treatment is. And so then, so in addition, because it's a restaurant, we would have a grease trap to take care of whatever grease that's happening in the kitchen. And so after we have the grease trap, which then feeds into and basically the restrooms will go directly to the septic tank, and then the grease trap would go to the septic tank. And then that clear zone, the liquid that's in between the scum and the sludge, then goes to the secondary treatment. And that's where the wastewater is really significantly cleaned. And for those on the board that have seen me talk about uh, bottomless sand filters and things, you'd know that typically for secondary treatment, I use what's called the Waterloo biofilter, which is basically foam cubes. That particular secondary treatment is not a good treatment for a restaurant because the grease and oils from the kitchen would clog up those foam cubes. So we're using another technology called the clean solution from a gentleman that's based in New Hampshire. And I've used that within the last year. I used that technology for a bakery in downtown Hamilton called the Honeycomb. And so that's the selected secondary treatment. And then after the wastewater goes through the grease trap and the septic tank and the secondary treatment, and basically the secondary treatment is going to be separate fans that are blowing air into at least 3 tanks that are filled with certain media. And the key with high strength waste versus low strength waste, and low strength waste is basically residential wastewater. High strength waste would be a restaurant. And the key with knocking down the strength of the wastewater is to introduce oxygen into the system. And so by having secondary treatment, that will knock down the that will provide oxygen, and so therefore have much cleaner effluent, which then goes to a pump chamber. And from the treatment part of things, every septic system has a treatment and a dispersal. And so the treatment happens near the restaurant. And then we have the pump chamber, and then that will send the wastewater through a force main, which is a small diameter. When I say small, probably like a 2-inch diameter pipe, which then goes to the area to the right of the screen, which is where John and I performed our soil testing. And that's where the drip dispersal leaching area is going to be. Now, you see on the bottom of the screen is where School Brook is. And that, in terms of Conservation Commission, that's what the resource is that we are making sure that we protect. And so the Conservation Commission has, in this case, not only jurisdiction in the brook itself, but also within 100 feet of the brook. And you see that other line. Can everyone see that?
Which color
The
line
green
is it?
line with the line and circles, which I've highlighted in green.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 100-foot buffer zone. And then continuing up to the magenta line, that's the 200-foot riverfront area. So you can see that the drip dispersal area will be primarily in between the 100-foot buffer zone and the 200-foot riverfront area. And the treatment part of things will all happen within the buffer zone. And so Tim and Brig and I wanted to give you an idea that we are making excellent progress. We're having a team meeting tomorrow, meeting at Hancock Associates, and talking about the architecture of the building, as well as stormwater and septic. And so this gives you an overall view of of what's happening. And ultimately, we will not be asking for any waivers or variances. I met with John last week, and I thought that we might have to, but John, we did a bunch of uh, research and calculations and Tim and Brig and I putting our heads together. And we are going to set this up so that we're not going to have to file with the state. We're not going to have to request any variances or waivers. And so I believe in Topsfield, then it will just have to go before John and have John's his review and not have to go before the board. But if the board would like to see the the ultimate plans, we'd be happy to show you those plans. So this is an overall view of what's happening. And then if you're interested in seeing what or I can answer questions about this, and then we can then proceed with a little bit of details where Brig and Tim might want to talk about the plans for the restaurant itself. So any questions anyone has?
So I want to first let the board answer questions. So I know we have Ellen and Amy. Don't know if Bill ever got in. Um, Ellen and Amy, do you have any questions first?
I don't. That was very helpful. Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah,
Sure.
it explained things pretty well.
Thank you, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah, that's amazing that what you're able to do and not even have any variances or anything.
Yeah.
So great. How about anybody else at the meeting? Do you have any questions first, and then do you have anything to add?
I guess the primary and secondary treatment is within the 100-foot buffer zone. And I thought that's where the town's bylaws said you would need a variance. Am I just not understanding that?
Well, this is Carl speaking,
Yeah, this is Carl.
and so
I
Carl's
am not yet officially sworn in on the board, so just consider it as an interested parties question.
but so he's a new member, not quite, but almost, and so that was his question about the buffer zone.
Okay. So the grease trap and the septic tank and the secondary treatment units and the pump chamber, those are all within precast concrete structures, which are below the ground surface, and they'll be watertight structures. So I'm not familiar with the regulation of not being able to have those structures in the buffer zone. But if we have, clearly we will have to. And so if that means that we would have to go for variances, then we would.
So would that be a variance from the conscom that you would need, or from us? Or
Well, it would be from the Board of Health.
oh, okay. These the people at this meeting. This is not our strong. John Boulay, do you want to add anything to this discussion by any chance?
I'm not sure a variance would be needed, but I can certainly review Title V and see if anything
Yeah,
draws me out the
I am
way.
not familiar enough with the regulations. Just I noticed it's within the 100-foot buffer, and I thought the town had a bylaw that presumes work within 100 feet required a variance.
So that would be like a conscom bylaw. That's why we're not familiar with it, I think.
Yeah, and I think a few years ago we strictly decided to follow Title V at the state level, and stopped using any local regulation for Title V. So it would basically be whatever Title V states.
Okay.
But thanks.
Right.
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
And we'll certainly look into that.
Can just add something here. It's Tim. I
Hi.
met with Jackie a couple days ago, and I showed her a slightly different version of this, but similar. And we ended up having discussion around the drip dispersal and the amount of land you can use within the riverfront and all that. and that all sort of made sense. But she saw the plan, and to be honest, we never came up anything about the primary and secondary. I don't know if that really matters, but just interesting. It's not something she asked any questions about. So
Yeah.
that might mean that maybe she's okay with it. But I don't want to say that. I mean, whatever. Just want to share that I had that meeting, and that wasn't something we even talked about.
Thank you. And Jackie is the conscom agent for
Right. Sorry.
Topsfield. So, okay, that was very helpful. Well,
So I would like to hear just like 2-minute brief version of the plans, just in general, without like the septic stuff. Just
yeah, the other two drawings that, yeah.
exactly.
So
Okay,
now
John,
we'll
would
see
you
if,
be able to call up the ground floor plan first?
While John's doing that, this is Tim, and I'll maybe share a couple comments and turn it over to Brig. He can comment more on the operation. So the way that we're working together is I'll end up, assuming all goes through, which, we expect to happen. I would own the property and then, be redeveloping the building. So we're at a point now where it's been determined that we really can't leverage the building that's there now. It turned into kind of a disaster. When you look at the review of the foundation, can't use the foundation, the walls don't hold up, can't support a second floor, all these different things. So we're at a point where we're going to have to do a new building, and I've shared that with folks. And so the plans you're going to see here are look different than what's on that plan, but it's a very similar footprint. The idea is it goes a little bit further back, meaning away from Main Street. First, it starts a little bit further away from Main Street and ends even further away from Main Street. And the reason for that is we're trying to move it away from the brook. So it's not a massive amount of feet difference, but it is going in the right direction. And the additional size is kind of back. So that's, I just mentioned that. And, we're at a point now where it looks like the septic, the way it's, been designed, can handle the I guess output's the way to say it, from the size that Chuck mentioned. And so we're, now we're in the process of finalizing the floor plans. So this isn't final, but it's pretty close. Brig and I are working on it, and I don't expect it to change a lot, but it could change a little bit. So maybe over to you, Brig. I think Brig's in the car. Hopefully
I
he can
am.
hear. Yeah.
Thanks, Tim. Can everybody hear me?
Hmm.
Great. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. My name is Brig Leland. I'm the owner and manager of Marble Ridge Winery in North Andover. Tim and I have been working on some other projects in the past, and when this project came up, we thought it was a great opportunity to create something that the town has really been asking for, which is a restaurant. John, I think you went back to your inbox. If you could go to the first floor plan, that would be ideal. And then I can walk everybody through. Awesome. So if you were to walk in the front door, on the left-hand side is the restaurant. It's a tavern style restaurant, which we think really fits the market study and what the community requested, which is a casual full service restaurant with a bar. On the right hand side is retail. So this is some grab and go. So basically the meals that the kitchen is making, they'll have it. Some of it will be prepared and some of it will be to go, but very similar menu and meals on the retail side. And then so left is the restaurant, right is retail, and then behind on the back side of the building, which I believe is the east side of the building, is that's all restaurant. I'm sorry, that's all kitchen space. So you can see we've got all sorts of kitchen equipment and storage. So that's kind of back of the house. The way that flows is on the right hand side. There's an entry and exit of the building. That's where deliveries and trash will come and go. And then we have a little workflow on the immediately to the right side, right back side. And then we have some storage in the middle, and then there's another workflow for the kitchen. Basically, one's designed to support the catering business, and one is designed to support the restaurant. They're going to use similar ingredients and those types of things, but they do operate separately. Um, Going back to if you were a customer, you wouldn't obviously see the kitchen. So you've got restrooms on the left-hand side. If you look at the tavern, you see there are restrooms. Right. Well, that's the bar. So directly above that is right there. Those are the restrooms. And then if you were to go upstairs, you have two options. So you take the stairs or you take the elevator. Um, we want to make sure that the upstairs is ADA accessible, so it's accessible to everybody. And John, if you wouldn't mind going to the second floor.
I should have said this in my little intro there that, Brig will be the owner and operator of the business there, which will be
Yep.
the restaurant and the catering, the retail, and then we're about to hear about the event space upstairs. And
Yep.
so, and then the other kind of logistical thing that probably everyone realizes, but Topsfield Garage is 100% owned by me. So basically that's me. That's the LLC that'll own the properties. And I now own, or Topsfield Garages now owns 35R Main, which is the property to the right on the original map there. And the leach fields were in 35R Main. So, but they'll be owned by the same entity in time.
Thanks for clarifying, Tim. John, when you're ready for the second floor. You may have to share it.
John, thanks for being the one sharing. That's
Yeah.
never fun.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job.
Well, it
No
never works
worries.
the way it's supposed to. That's my experience.
No,
Yeah.
totally.
Is it all
We're
set
all
now?
familiar with
There
that.
we
So here's the second floor. If you're a guest and you take the stairs or the elevator, directly in front of you will be the event space. We have it set up so that it can serve two different purposes. So you could have one large group that would be we're looking at a capacity of 110 people, or you could split the room there. We could put up a temporary partition, and that way we could serve two smaller parties, one slightly bigger than the other. I believe it's 60-50. So event space would be the slightly larger one. As Tim pointed out, the designs are not completely done. We wanted to show you what we have so far. So we've got some storage. We've got a bar for the event spaces up here. We've got bathrooms, of course, and then we have an office and staff room. We're planning on having at least 25 people on our team to operate the building. We think that the fact that we'll have a restaurant, we'll have grab and go, and we'll have both the event space and catering for both on-site and off-site. This will really help us with a very successful business to run here. Where, as Tim pointed out, as the operator, we run our winery in North Andover, and we have excess demand that we hope to bring to Topsfield as well. So, and vice versa, right? We think this will be a great addition for us, and we're looking forward to being more of a part of Topsfield.
There's a quick comment. We've had discussions about likely needing more mechanical room space. So you probably, when the final design's done, you're probably going to see a little more space for just the mechanicals. And that's
Yep.
the stuff that's where we are in the process. So it won't look like this, but it'll be directionally the same.
Cheryl, you're muted.
Thank you. That was excellent. And so pleased that you were able to come and present this so clearly to everyone. Does anyone else have any more questions or comments?
It's exciting. Thank you for presenting that.
Thank you.
It's more interesting than the septic stuff.
Yeah, it's
Chuck.
very excited to see Topsfield get a full function restaurant.
Thank
We
you.
are too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
And
we are.
Thanks, guys.
thanks for taking the time because you didn't really need to come, but this is excellent because we do get questions from people in the community and now we can answer them with confidence. And so this is terrific.
Our kind of approach is old school, be transparent and try to communicate with people. And so, we try to share as much information as we can. And, without information, there's a vacuum, right? So we're trying to not have that. And so if you happy to share everything we know, and at any time, basically.
Great.
Thank
So if it's one last chance, any more questions or comments? And if not, okay, thank you so much, and we'll go ahead and move along. And thanks again for coming.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
Bye now.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
all. Nice
folks.
to meet you all.
Nice to meet you guys.
Bye, guys.
have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So that was very productive, and we're lucky to have such a wonderful team working on that. The next thing on the agenda is the minutes from September 17th, and I do have one correction, and that is on page 8 of the minutes under the topic of PHE grant update. The second line from the bottom talks about the chair of the Middleton Board of Health, Matt Greenfield. And I believe that Matt Greenfield is a member of the Middleton Board of Health, but not the chair. That's what it says on the Middleton website. So unless anybody knows anything to the contrary, I would like that changed to say member of the Middleton Board of Health.
Good catch, Cheryl.
Mm. Does that have to be, I forget what we do with corrections, voted or seconded or something like that? I don't even know. It's been so long we've corrected any minutes. Anyway, I don't think so. So does anybody else have any other corrections or additions to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, we can go ahead and vote. All of those in favor of accepting the minutes as corrected, please say aye, and I'll do a roll call. So Amy
Aye.
and Ellen.
I wasn't there. Can I vote?
Yes.
Okay, good question. That always comes up too. And
Okay.
I don't see Bill yet, so I'm not calling on Bill. And so I myself say aye. So that is, the minutes are passed unanimously. Thank you very much.
Cheryl, just not going back to the minutes, but going back to your question, I
Mhm.
think that if there was disagreement over that correction, that someone said, no, that's not correct, then you might have to take a vote. But,
Very good, Ellen.
But-
I think you're right.
I mean,
It's been so long. I can't even remember the last time we corrected anything in the draft minutes. So thank you.
because Sudka does such a good job.
I know. So we're ready now for the health director report, and John, take it away.
Everything's going good. I found out today that I passed my soil evaluation course, so that's finally complete.
Congratulations.
Very good.
Would say the big thing this month was the fair. Roughly inspections were over 3 days, 3 long days. About 120 plus inspections were completed between 3 or 4 of us. Quite a few soil evaluations this month. Plan reviews are coming in. Actually, have quite a few soil evaluations scheduled for next week. So, seems like a lot of septic systems are still going in. Um, that's about it. The alfalfa farm plans got returned to the office this week, so that's complete. And the letter, I believe, was sent out today. Other than that, it's been a pretty, I would say, standard month.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments for John? We're a quiet group tonight. Thank you. Um, all right, I'm going to move ahead, and which is now report from Julia Lobel.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Julia.
So I have the report for this month. Nothing too significant, like John said, except the Topsfield Fair was top of the plate for everyone, I would say. Maven coverage, just continued daily Maven coverage. I will submit the quarterly report that's due for Q3, so nothing too significant to report on that, though. The Topsfield Fair wrapped up on Monday. And again, for the fifth straight year, the health department, myself, has provided volunteer staffing for the triage area in combination with the MRC. So this is the fifth year. It started in 2021 under Wendy and Chief Collins Brown. And then I've been managing the volunteers the past 5 years. So that's been a really good collaboration between the health department and public safety departments. We had about half the shifts filled by MRC volunteers, and then I was able to get students from Masco that were in the EMT program there. So I was there if there was no volunteers, or if I had student volunteers there, then I was there for those shifts. And we had over 250 encounters at the triage area the course of the 11 days. So last year, and I'll put all the numbers in the notes, but last year there was 142 encounters at the triage area. So those things, and I always tell people when I give them an overview of what we do there, the triage area, triage literally means to sort. So that's what we do when they come up to that area, to the public safety area, is we sort out what people need. So if somebody needs directions to something, we send them to the information booth. If somebody has a question about something, something else, then we might send them to administration. If somebody just needs a Band-Aid or an ice pack, we're able to provide them guidance to, we have like a self-help first aid kit. So they're able to help themselves to ice packs, Band-Aids, just some minor first aid things. And then we did have 15 people that we needed to direct to the EMTs or paramedics that are on site there. So that was well over 230 encounters that the police, fire, and EMTs did not need to deal with, which in previous years, they were the ones dealing with all of those minor things coming up. So it's definitely a very good collaborative effort. Everybody's very thankful with the effort that we put in for that. And it gives the students a good experience too, to just see the fair from a different angle, because it is a mass gathering site. It's a very secure site, and you're not, on the grounds like in the Midway. So it's just an interesting way to see the fair for sure. And then the volunteers that we get from the MRC, I've had a really solid group of volunteers since the pandemic. So a lot of these people have been doing it for 5 years. Some of them were with us through vaccine clinics when we were doing vaccine clinics, either at Topsfield Fair or at Masco or at Topsfield Town Hall. So there's a really good core group of volunteers. Most of them do have medical background, so they're either nurses or EMTs. We did have one retired medical doctor that volunteered this year who was actually stationed at the South Pole. So I think everybody likes it because we never know who we're going to get for volunteers. It's a very dynamic group of volunteers. And this year we did have a significant amount of bee stings on the grounds. So there was 79 bee stings, which in the past, like last year, there was 23 bee stings the whole course of the fair. So just on one of those days, that Saturday, that I was on, we had it was like 45 bee stings just that one day. And so the bees were it was interesting because it was a lot of environmental issues because of the weather. The bees were like really agitated from the weather, plus the weather's turning. And so we had lots of bee stings that we dealt with. The EMTs did transport 2 of those people that came over to the booth, to that area there, from that area. They transported a lot more people that were just on the grounds, but we don't respond to anybody on the grounds. That's the EMTs and paramedics that do that. So overall, it was a really good. I'd say it's something we continuously improve on. And the state did ask me to write this up for other communities to have a program like this that collaborates with their public safety department. So I thought that was interesting. The immunization clinic plan for Topsfield, we did have a clinic on September 24th at the Council on Aging. This clinic was primarily directed to the seniors. So we had about 70 people for that clinic. So that worked out nicely. It was busy, but it wasn't a huge stress on town hall or on the building like it has been previously. And our next clinic is going to be next Wednesday, October 22nd from 2 to 4 p.m. I don't know how many people are registered for that now, but I'd guess it would be the same crowd. That's typically what happens. And then there will be a third clinic in November on November 17th. So I have 2 final wellness clinics this coming Monday, the 20th, at the Council on Aging and at Littlebrook Village. So I don't know what the plan is to support those clinics after November 1st. So that's something the health director and the Board of Health should maybe discuss just to see what the plan would be, because I'm officially done in the temporary interim position at the end of October. So the Tri-Town Senior Visiting Program, I have continued with those home visits last month and this month. So there are lots of referrals, connections to care, and I'm not sure what the plan is to continue those home visits past October 31st. I did reach out to, I just spoke with one of the people from the fire department that's been doing some of the fall prevention work with seniors, and we're going to try to connect just so she has an idea of what I've been doing in town with the seniors. And I'm going to connect her with Kathleen as well. And then on the opioid task force, there's a hazardous waste day on October 25th. And this year, Tri-Town Council was able to reach out to the people that are hosting the hazardous waste day. And they coordinated for Brendan Gahagan to be there to accept any prescription medication returns. So Brendan runs the bins in Topsfield, the return bins, like the one outside of Town Hall. So along with the hazardous waste day, they're also going to be able to accept any unwanted prescription medications. And then I've coordinated with them to get them those brown bags that we used back in June. For the take back for the brown bag check with the pharmacist, but we'll also be able to give those out to residents that come in. If they didn't bring any of their prescriptions, then they can have a bag, and it has like the locations of the different drop sites listed on that bag to help encourage people to get prescription medications out of their closet. So I'm working with Tri-Town Council and with Brendan on that. The next opioid task force meeting is October 28th. It's a Wednesday. No, it's a Tuesday. I want to say it's 10 a.m. And that's all I have for notes.
Carl, you're muted.
Thank you, Julia.
You're welcome.
Okay. It's always a pleasure to hear everything that goes on. I had a question for you. Were those bee stings, do you happen to know if those bees were yellow jackets or honeybees?
So that's a good question. The majority of them are yellow jackets, from what I understand. That's typically what you see on the grounds. There can be some bee stings too, but they're typically the yellow jackets that we see.
Thank you.
Julia,
Okay.
is this our last meeting with you?
Sorry?
Is this Julia's last meeting with us?
It is, yes.
Yeah. I don't know why Amy is very faint. I can
Am
hardly
I faint?
Yeah, you're faint.
Oh, wait.
I don't know.
My
Oh,
microphone
there
was low.
you go.
There you go. Sorry.
What were you saying, Amy?
I just was asking if this was Julia's last meeting with us.
And yeah.
Yeah, my position is officially done at the end of October. So
I don't know how I'm going to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll yes, TBD. Well, okay, Julia. It's hard to say goodbye, but maybe we won't. anyway, thank you
Thank
for all that you've done over the years. And I hear through the grapevine you have a lot of people interested in employing you. So
I do have lots of options, but yeah, thank you to everybody from Topsfield Board of Health, though. You guys have always been great to work through, even through the pandemic, and I've definitely learned a lot from everybody on the board, so I do appreciate it.
yeah, you're gonna do great.
Thank you.
And
I
we'll
don't know
miss
about
you.
us.
We'll miss you a lot.
Yeah, not so much for us, but you'll do great, Julia.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, new business is Topsfield Fair update. John, did you want to say anything else about the Topsfield Fair? It's over. I know that.
About
Yay.
Oh, I think it went pretty well. I didn't hear anything major from John in the time he was there, but the inspections and all that went well. So I think it was a pretty good fair from what it seems.
Yeah. Yes, it did go well. Just as a reminder, um, we were able to pay John Coulon, although he hasn't received his pay yet, for coordinating the public health inspections at the fair, just as a helpful transition because John Boulay is new, and so John Coulon gathered up a bunch of people. So I think we were fortunate that was able to happen. The plan is, Kevin was telling me that reimbursement has not yet come before the selectmen, but he's confident that it will be paid. But then we also will be looking for reimbursement from the PHE grant to pay back the town for that. So just so you know how that happened. But we don't anticipate next year having that expense, because by that time John Boulay will be an old hand and and he'll know everything. And plus um, your expertise is in food and restaurants, so we're extremely lucky for that. Okay, so and then old business, public health excellence update. So the update is that I met with Kevin yesterday because he will be having a meeting with a couple of state officials and some people from Middleton that are involved to try and clarify about how exactly the shared services program is supposed to run. And so, in preparation for that meeting, I met with Ellen, who gave me a wonderful one page of information. I met with Julia, who gave me a lot of information, and Sue also reviewed a lot of documents, and provided some written documentation. I brought them to Kevin. We met for about an hour yesterday, and he's going to do his best at this October 17th meeting, which is coming right up, to get some clarification about who actually is in charge. It's an important point. So I'm hopeful that meeting will go well, and I'll let you know how it does go. I don't know, John Boulay, do you have anything to add to that? Yeah.
No, although I just know that Kevin's meeting with a couple of the members from the state. Um, and we'll just wait and find out how that meeting goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of it's not an official meeting, it's more casual between the people with the state and some of the members of PHE. So we'll see how it ends up, but it's something Kevin wanted to do. So hopefully he gets some of the answers he wanted.
Yeah, exactly. We'll keep you updated. And oh, I don't have anything to add to Julia's report about opioid settlement funds. John, do you? Okay. And then usually I have all these. Okay. The bills paid, we actually didn't pay any bills this month, so we can skip that. And then monthly revenue, we took in $2,873.83. All but about $100 of that was for Title V and soil testing type items, but there was about $50 for vaccine reimbursement that we received. And when it says UMass Medical School, that means it's the Medicare reimbursement. UMass Medical School just processes it. And then about $50 for food inspection for the Castleberry Fair. Oh, and this I found just an interesting point because I wasn't really clear on this. So for reimbursement for the soil evaluator class and textbook that John Boulay took for $1,150, and Sue has put an asterisk saying this reimbursement goes back into the Board of Health FY26 accounts. All other revenue goes into the town's general fund. I'm glad to see that that goes back into our account because I honestly didn't know that. It's where it should go. So that means that we're not spending that out of our account. That is exactly what the PHE grant is supposed to do. So thank you to Sue for putting that in there. And that is all I have. Does anyone else have any items? Thank you. All right. That it sounds like nobody has anything else to add, and
I'm
so
good.
you're good. All right. It is 7:40. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oh, before we adjourn though, I just want to thank everybody for your patience getting into the meeting. We will definitely have to iron this out for next time because it's still a mystery what exactly happened to Zoom. Anyway, maybe we'll have to start over again with it. I don't know, but we'll have to sit the three of like you, John, and Sue and me. We can set up a dummy meeting and sit there and try and do it and try and figure out.
Sounds good.
So exciting. All right, anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I seconded it.
A second. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting? Amy,
Aye.
Ellen,
Aye.
myself, aye. So 7:41, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.